Hi guys, thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. For those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Catherine and I tell true stories and facts. And for those of you who've been here for quite a while, you know what I talk about most: spiritual things, witchcraft, and the positive side of spirituality. Now, today I'm going to the topic of witchcraft again. It's been a while. But this I realize is what most people tend to be scared of, you know, tend to think that maybe I have been bewitched, things like that, especially in Africa. Whenever they cannot find a cause for a certain sickness or a cause for misfortunes that keep on happening to the same person all the time or to a particular family all the time, they try to trace it back to some sort of witchcraft, which could be the case. Although Christians are made to believe that there is no witchcraft, but actually there is witchcraft also mentioned in the Bible. But the reality is that it is very hard for witchcraft to affect a practicing Christian or a person who's generally practicing their religion to the supreme being who is God. In this case, I don't mean idols, a God. Witchcraft is very hard to affect such people because witchcraft is by the demon and not by God. And if you look at my previous videos, the very early videos that I was talking about witchcraft, you will see that there are different types of witchcraft. Witchcraft is carried out in different ways, through spells, through chantings, through sending familiars, things like that. But if there is a witch watching here or a wizard, you know that there are different types of witchcraft with different powers, but they cannot affect a Christian or a believer in God who is in a state of grace. When we say a state of grace, we mean that the person does not have very bad sins at the moment. I'm putting it in general, very bad sins, but in Catholicism we say mortal sin because we believe there is venial sin and there is mortal sin. Mortal sin being a sin that you know very well this is a sin and you intentionally do it. Or you succumb to the temptation without any fight because you know that you're going to confess anyway. That is a mortal sin. We call it that. And if you die in that grace, in that state, you definitely will believe you go to hell if you have not repented. If you've not repented. And so, if somebody bewitches you at that time, even if you are a believer in a supernatural being like God, it will affect you. It will affect you because you have now opened portals to a demon by committing such a serious sin. So, what witches know, they have different types of witchcraft and people pay for them according to how powerful that kind of witchcraft is. I'm not a witch and I've never practiced it, but it has happened to some people. So you will find that a very strong believer in a God, not an idol, has been affected by witchcraft, while it's believed that if you believe in God, you cannot be affected by witchcraft. Reason why such a person is affected by witchcraft at that particular time is because the witch used a very powerful, very powerful witchcraft on that person. And the person who contacted the witch asked, asked for that particular witchcraft to be performed to this person. And that means he paid a lot of money or had to perform some sacrifice, a very big sacrifice for this to happen. You know, people can go to that extent just to cause harm to somebody. Well, it doesn't mean that God was sleeping. It doesn't mean that God is not cannot manage to deal with this kind of witchcraft. But it simply means that the demon that was summoned to perform that kind of witchcraft was waiting for an opportunity when this person will fail, when this person will commit a grievous sin, in that now it will possess the person. It will own the person. Of course, when you commit a sin, it's like a form of worshiping the devil. So you are in a state of grace means that you have been blocked from God, you know, which you can only remove by asking for forgiveness from God. That is the only way. So this kind of witchcraft is dangerous because the demon waits and waits. It doesn't matter how long it's gonna wait. It will wait because it knows that human being is not a perfect being and is gonna fall at one point or another until death do us part with sin. So it will lie in waiting because it has been offered a very big sacrifice. And then the moment the person commits a big sin, a mortal sin, which means that the person committed a sin that he knows is a sin but went ahead and committed the sin, then that kind of witchcraft that was sent towards that person now works because the demon has been lying around waiting for this opportunity. And then people will wonder how such a strong Christian, how will he be affected by such witchcraft? Or such a strong believer, how comes witchcraft affected him? Well, and that's why they say the moment you find yourself in a state of having committed a big sin, you knew very well it's a sin and you went ahead and committed it, you need to confess immediately. You need to be sorrowful and ask for forgiveness from God in whatever way you do it. But you need to ask for forgiveness. Otherwise, you just commit that kind of sin and you're just sitting there like, whoa, you don't know who's against you in your life. You have to be careful. People are smiling around you, but they're not wishing any good for you. Let me not cheat you. It's like this smile, but inside is kind of, like that clown. If, for those of you who watched this horror movie called It, it's a clown smiling, but the things it's performing are not good. So don't judge people who are smiling at you and think, oh, they have good for you. You don't know. That's why some people will go to the extent of asking witches just to damage your life, and they will use such spells, ready to pay what it takes just to perform that particular dangerous spell that the demon will be in waiting for you to fall into a mortal sin. We call it mortal sin. Then it comes in. There are these small sins that you perform without maybe being aware, but when you recall, when you examine your conscience, you realize, oh, I did some wrong here. Maybe somebody annoyed you and you reacted and called the person names. That's not a mortal problem because you did not really, you did it out of passion or something like that. But some of them you do out of passion, but it's still a mortal sin. You kill. And some sins like maybe what can we say? Sins of omission, sins of omission. You don't complete your tasks and have to cheat your way through shortcuts and the rest, and things are not done properly inside. On top, it looks good. Let's say a saloonist who's so lazy, she does the back of the hair so badly because you will not see it immediately, braids so bad because she's lazy, things like that. You might not know that it's something wrong, but she just does it. But since that's something against your body, against another human, those are very dangerous. Or against the things of God, like blasphemy, something like sacrilegious. You perform these sins, and somebody throws a curse, that's some witchcraft, you're done. So if you like my content, like, share, and subscribe. Ciao.